What's up, cake peeps? Welcome to Man About Cake. I'm your host, Joshua John Russell, and this week, this man is all about metallic cakes. So metallics are super hot right now, they're all over the internet, and I'm gonna show you how to make a dramatic metallic border on a red velvet cake with cream cheese frosting. So let's do it! All right, so we're gonna start by filling two 6-inch red velvet cakes with cream cheese buttercream. First,
that looks like chocolate.
I gotta cut into it first, James. It's red velvet. It's just dark and delicious red velvet. You'll see. So I'm gonna break these down first by cutting the tops off and then halving them. You ready, James?
I'm ready.
You ready for the reveal? Here it goes. Boom! Dark and delicious red velvet. This isn't like your grandma's red velvet. Do you know where red velvet cake actually started? It was Devil Foods cake that they would put red food coloring in. So it was always really, really, really dark. And then Americans, Southerners, turned it into clown red cake. Really, it's supposed to be darker. I think it is. Here, have some garbage cake. Tell me what you think. Get that garbage cake. What if I just went? All right, now I got 4 layers. We're gonna fill it with our cream cheese buttercream. By the way, if you guys want any of the recipes from this episode, click the I in the corner of this video, or you can get them in the description box below. Now we'll pop this guy in the fridge just to chill for a few minutes, then we'll cut him, crumb coat him, final coat him. So I'm doing the final coat in vanilla buttercream rather than the cream cheese frosting because the cream cheese frosting will melt the fondant. Trust me, I found out the hard way, and I've made a couple cakes before, came back 2 hours later, and all the fondant was melted off the cake. It's one of those tear moments. I'm not a crier. I'm totally a crier. If cake's involved, I'll cry. I see a crumb. What happened? Why is there a crumb?
Josh, I don't know if you knew it. It's real important to get a good crumb coat.
It is real important. I know that, James.
You know what? It's a red velvet, so you don't want any of the crumbs.
I'm glad that you're learning. I'm really glad that you're learning. But it's only one crumb. I can pick it out with a toothpick. So now I'm just gonna take my handy scraper. It's your cue, Brandon. Ready? All right. Now we're gonna scrape her smooth on the side, and then we'll fill in any gaps as we go. But I don't see any gaps. Oh, there's one right there. I spoke too soon. All right, now she's going back in the cooler to get ready for fondant.
You can keep your head back at all.
Oh, sure. Because this is natural. To stay out of camera see, because she's my arch nemesis. I like to relax while I'm rolling fondant. Just get me a lazy boy. Lazy boy and a TV tray, please. I'll roll all the fondant you want, sir. All right, take my paddles here. Clear! He's alive.
No dead cakes on my set.
I'm gonna trim the excess here. I'm just gonna take a little piece, do a little polishing. She's done. All right, so I have some sparkling sanding sugar here and I wanna cover the entire cake with it, but first I have to make it sticky. So I'm gonna use a little bit of piping gel all over the entire outside. Okay, I think she's all covered now. I'm gonna pick her up and we're gonna coat her in sugar. She's heavy to be so tiny. That's what everyone says about me. All the way up the sides, like a diamond. All right, she's beautiful. So now we gotta add her metallic collar. I'm gonna show you how to make that next after I clean up all these diamonds. Look at all these diamonds. I'm gonna make our dramatic collar now. I'm actually gonna do it with everyday cutters that you probably have at home. I'm gonna make this pretty thick because I want it to be very dramatic. There's that guy. And I'm gonna cut one diamond. And then we're gonna cut one of each of our circles. So I'm gonna be adding some texture to her with a Dresden tool. So this is Dresden and veining tool on one side and then a little stitchy tool on the other side. It's one of my favorite tools in my cake arsenal. That's right. So we're just gonna add some texture. I'm gonna start by making just a crevice down the center. Then I'll do it where this part starts. And then on this side, and then we'll cut these little lobes in half. And then in between each one, I'm gonna use the little stitchy tool to make a little stitch marks. That's what stitchy tools do. So now, I'm just gonna go back and put a little bit of detail into those first marks I made. Just give a little bit of separation. It kind of makes it look like a shell or a feather. All right, so that is the first part of our dramatic collar border thing. So then for the other pieces, have this fun little stamper. You can find these at any cake stores. There's many different kinds. This one just looks like a fan. I'm gonna stamp each of my circles. When you stamp it, it distorts it though. So when I take it out of here, I'm gonna cut it again to it's back to being round. All right, and then we'll do the same thing with the diamond. So now we're gonna build it. I'm gonna start by putting these three guys together. Give it a little push. They should stick together. If they don't, you can add a little bit of piping gel in between. Then I'm gonna cut them in half. So then our border goes like this. These pieces all line up. This guy comes in between, and she finishes it out. And that repeats all the way around the cake. So I'm gonna line up all the bottom pieces first. Make sure they're snug side by side, pushing them against the cake like they're part of the cake. That already looks pretty cool. Like little baby rainbows with no color. What is a rainbow with no color?
Albino rainbow.
I think that's called the wind. This is very Art Deco though. Like very Great Gatsby, right? It could be Art Deco, but it also could be sea-like the set of a Vegas show. I've never even been to a Vegas show before. Like not one like that. Same idea, I'm just gonna cover the back with some royal icing, put that baby in place. Now I'm gonna add our diamond pieces to complete our collar. So I'm using a gold dust that I'm actually gonna hydrate with a little bit of alcohol. If you can't consume alcohol at all, you could actually use lemon juice. So you want it to be a little bit viscous, like a paint, not too thin. So actually that's about good. So I'm just gonna use a little bit at a time. The metallic actually really brings out all of that handwork we did earlier with the stitching and the mold that we put this over, and looks really, really good in photographs. So to finish the top tier, I'm gonna add a little personal touch. Anytime I wanna write on a cake, I just practice a couple times on a scrap piece of fondant until I feel comfortable. I actually think I pipe better than I handwrite, but this still looks pretty good. I'm gonna stack the cakes together now with bubble tea straws. Top tier is small, so I'm only gonna use 3. Well, now we'll add our top tier using a little bit of royal icing. Now I'm gonna finish her off with a little more sparkling sugar around the edge. More diamonds. Just in case you're wondering, this is definitely a cake because it says it right there. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode of Man About Cake. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe because I will be bringing you new cake every week. Let's eat. Gorge yourself on a piece of cake. Tastes like diamonds.